All the meetings ordered.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the prayer. O Lord God, we come before thee in prayer, acknowledging the blessing of government and administration. Thou art a God of order and hast blessed us with the establishment of governing officials to provide civil harmony and concord. Be with us in this meeting and give us strength and wisdom to pursue goals which please thee. Grant us the courage to support those things which are right and according to thy ordinances, for we ask it in God's name. Amen. If anyone else would like to offer a prayer at this time, hearing none, we can continue.
Good evening, Pete. Roll call.
Bailey.
Sure.
Jaffa.
Here.
Selene.
Here.
Vitamin.
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions? Motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
No motion support to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Conflict, does anyone have a conflict with anything on the agenda today? Hearing none, we'll go on to the minutes of the meeting of June 28th, 2024. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. I would move to approve the minutes as presented.
Support. We have motion support to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Claims audit.
Rather large one, but our insurance, property and liability insurance was in there, so that's 170. We had 2 months worth of MSU, 2 quarters, I should say. They've realized they had missed billing us a quarter. So that's about $48,000 right there.
So like my understanding is all the bills dated prior to July 1 will be accrued back to last year's.
Yeah, it's not the entirety of this. 'Cause
Understood.
The insurance comes out of this year's,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, we already do that, so it's automatic.
That'll lessen the blow.
Yeah, so it's about a 50-50 split probably, you know, when you take out that big chunk of insurance.
143,463.
For the insurance,
Yeah.
No, that's just part of it.
yeah, there's good, it's broken up into like.
About
4 funds.
170 total.
Oh, 22,323.
Yeah.
How come it's?
Well, we should.
I know she ran a different report this time and didn't total every of the same vendors together, so I don't have that unfortunately, but yeah, you gotta total them all out, so it's about 152. For conversations
Say,
sake, yes. When you approve the, you know, the additional that we didn't have the grand total on, up to 500, it was 584. So it's in there. It wasn't $1,000 more, but it was $84, just so you're aware.
That's crazy.
The other thing was the Emmett County, do you have that written down? Because I don't have the
Yeah.
recycling.
so, yeah, it was, the bill was 15,520 and our rebate was 10,142.50.
It's good.
2/3.
So,
However, then we have the shipping or the pickup.
yeah,
So they haven't increased our
that's cheap.
monthly fee. And so it does look high because it's the monthly fee plus 6 weeks of 2 additional
Double.
pickups each week, because they're doing both cardboard and containers.
For the summer season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it
Well, it sure beats having the stuff strewn all over the
Right.
barn.
And we talked about,
We
well,
have
why
the
would,
money,
right,
so-
yeah, we did talk to them on the phone about why wouldn't they just double the monthly fee, but they're taking, people off of other routes to accommodate us, so they're not gonna give it up for the lower fee that we already pay.
Well, we haven't had the kind of problem this year.
No, that,
And I didn't hear
Mike
about,
said
it. Usually it's
it's back.
after 4th of July, the big weekend, and I haven't heard of it.
No, I wouldn't do, yeah.
So,
it's been, they've been able to.
because
keep
last
up
year
with
at this time was a big old mess.
Yeah, close.
It was horrible. So anyways, that's some of your bigger ones. There was some dues that came due, or quarterly or annual support payment, stuff like that.
Workers' comp was 11,000.
That's a biannual payment.
Was Mr. Darga at finance
Yeah.
committee? Okay, good.
So I guess it's,
I would make a motion to approve the claims audit in the amount of 416,372.59. It is a large one.
Yeah,
Jeez.
we have it.
Support.
The motion support to pay the claims in the amount of $416,372.59. Is there any more discussion? Now we'll call the roll.
Chapa,
Yeah.
Palini,
Yes.
Heidemann,
Yes,
Staley.
Yes.
Citizens appearing before the board. I guess it's you, John. You have to speak because no one else is here.
Okay, well, the only thing I had is I was gonna complain about you shooting down my popcorn proposal without even bringing it to a vote. That's all I have to say.
oh, well,
Thanks for your input, sir.
Okay.
On to new business. Oh,
What to do with the grass? I'm a court out front. Machine broke down, it's kind of long.
well, I was
It
just
was just
thinking how nice and lush it looked.
Okay.
No, they
6 of
mowed
one and
today.
half.
They were mowing back there. So,
Oh,
yeah.
well, court, it's hard because they have to not mow during court days. And when you have court every day, and
it's
it rains on the
raining.
other days,
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So-
Yeah.
that is the reason.
Well,
They're trying to beef it up before festival too.
Yeah, I would
It's
too.
gonna take.
yeah, right.
I'd let Craig let me go.
Okay, we're on to new business, the county master plan. We need a resolution to adopt it.
So in your packets, at your thing, I did also attach though. So it was the instructions that there has to be two in a particular order. And so I have number one and number two.
Two separate resolutions.
I have it double sided. Sorry,
Okay,
I saved paper when I can.
good, thank you.
Is there any changes to the plan?
let me speak to that.
Please.
I'm your representative on the planning commission. NEMCOG, of course, prepared the plan in cooperation with the entire planning commission, which is 11 members, a lot of people from all over the county. They also have shifted staff and changed staff people about 2/3 of the way. The new staff did a marvelous job. The planning commission gave them some lists as long as they're armed to amend, correct, expand, whatever. So after those changes were made, there was a state mandatory public hearing in front of the planning commission. And we had that public hearing. The one public that spoke really commended the plan, but was there to talk about the solar energy development primarily. So the only thing he says about the plan was great job, NEMCOG, and planning commission. So that was the extent of the plan. Two members raised minor corrections, which were made. So what's before you is the revised plan as adopted by the planning commission. Now, the county board has a right to do another master plan public hearing. You don't have to. I'm not sure why we would, but if we don't want another public hearing, then this motion, this resolution would be in order.
For final approval.
Well, the new ordinance will have the new ordinance will have the changes highlighted, what was changed.
You mean in the plan?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Highlighted? I don't think so.
No,
I could show you, I got a bunch of stickies on my copy, but
That's
that's.
great. I can look at those.
You're welcome.
I just know you, a lot of times nothing changes in the plan.
I just probably made notes on, on the
Yeah.
pages.
They have to review it every 5 years.
That's correct. That,
Good.
Cliff is right. The new planning law makes both the planning commission and this board look at it every 5 years. The problem with the old law was that they'd throw it on the shelf and 20 years later, look at it again.
Yeah,
So now
right.
you gotta buff it up every 5 years. You don't have to change it. You have to look at it.
1980.
right.
Have to get a copy of it. Read it.
Okay,
They would have them at the thing.
And
at
get a
our-
copy of the ordinance too.
Yeah, it's on our website.
and I would also state that traditionally, when back in the day, only the planning commission adopted the plan. And that really didn't work so well because sometimes the boards didn't know much about the plan. And if it's gonna be the basis of the county zoning ordinance,
Yeah.
it really has to be. So now the county board or any city board, village board has the right to approve. And I think that's a good thing because then,
It wasn't that in the enabling act,
yeah, that was a change
2006 or something.
in the enabling act, but the change was probably 10 years ago. So we've probably gone through one cycle. Anyway, having said all that, I would make a motion I would resolve to adopt a resolution for final approval of the Presque County Master Plan as went through hearing and corrections and adoption unanimously, by the way, at the planning commission level.
Good.
And by the way, Jim Zashevsky, who's the chair, could not be here. And he apologizes, in fact, he couldn't attend tonight.
Yeah, the township meeting is.
Yeah. We were gonna do it last time at the last meeting, but that meeting was so full, we didn't have time. So that's how his schedule got screwed up. So he sends his apologies and
I would support the adoption of it.
Okay, we have a motion
Final
for
approval
approval.
resolution.
Adopt the resolution for final approval of Presque County Master Plan.
and I think we're doing the
Or discussion.
front side
Yeah,
separately.
yeah,
So
so.
let's do that one.
Yeah, so the bottom says, now therefore be resolved, the Presque
Yep.
County Board of Commissioners hereby assert the authority to make the final approval or rejection of the Presque County Master Plan.
So it's a two-step. We don't have to assert the authority. We could just let the planning commission keep doing it by themselves. But the front side said, no, we want the authority to adopt. And the back side said, we're adopting.
I think I'm gonna,
That's two.
We gotta vote on one.
So let's just,
Two different ones.
yes, so let's do the front
All
one.
right.
The motion to assert the authority to adopt.
I'm gonna add that to the header of the resolution,
Yes.
so it's clear.
Yes, that would be good.
Okay, any
And I-
more discussion? If not, we need a roll call.
Oh, excuse me, I had, yes, Mr. Tellini,
Yes.
second, okay, I just wanna make sure I get it straight.
Yeah.
Tellini,
Yeah.
Heidemann,
Yes,
Saley,
Yes.
Chopper.
Yes. Motion carried.
and now we'll do the second one, the back side, which is the resolution of final approval by this board of the Presque County Master Plan as presented.
I move to adopt that resolution for final. approval. I don't know, whatever number you got on it.
I don't have numbers.
We have a motion to support.
I thought I made the motion, but I clipped it, so now I'll support. That'll be fine.
All right. Any more discussion? Not called away.
Heidemann,
Yes,
Saley,
Yes.
Chopper,
Yes,
Tellini.
Yeah.
motion carried.
When do they get issued numbers, like resolution number?
Should be right now.
Or
it'll have a resolution number. It's not an ordinance, it's just. a
How do you-
resolution.
Yeah, no, I have an index in my
How do you do it?
book, because there's times that we take them off completely So then, and I have the either pass or fail in my index, but
Do you start at the beginning of the
Oh,
year,
yeah.
like 2024
It's
dash
24
one
dash.
or something -2?
Oh,
I have a binder that has index of it, so when
Then how
I
you
go
do
to
it,
file,
Just
in
curious.
order of the thing. Something actually.
On to materials management. Resolution for. EPA, which is.
Design
Design
designated, I'm sorry,
designated planning.
agent.
Well, you guys sent me to that class and Mr. Darga went to, I was part of the information at the class. We did file our notice of intent to do a one county plan. And that was accepted, you know, noted that. So the next steps are, you know, when can we get the money? Is my question. 60 grand a year. Well, there's 3 steps left now before we can get the money. First, to designate a planning agency. Second, to appoint a committee, which has to be 11 people under the law specific to that. And then the planning agency works with the committee to do a work plan. And the work plan gets turned into the state. And when the state approves the work plan, that's when the money flows. Now,
How many people are represented on the committee?
the 11 people, and I actually do have that. They have to be from all.
Bring it, I think.
Oh, yeah, well, that's interesting. Because we'll have to think carefully about that, and I wouldn't mind having the planning people guide us,
Are you talking about the agency or the?
the committee.
commission?
I knew someone had to be from the waste industry.
Okay, here we go. So here's who has to be on the committee. 1 solid waste disposal facility rep. 1 managed material hauler. So that could be, you know,
Anyone,
it could be
anyone hauling waste,
a sawdust hauler, you know, there.
or even the garbage truck, you know.
Oh, sure. 1 materials recovery facility. Well, we use Emmett County now. But it could be Alpena, but I think, anyway. 1 compost or anaerobic digester facility. Well, the city does compost. No, the yard waste site would count.
what they do behind the transfer station?
Mm. I suppose that.
So who's the
you do-
person?
But see, we're not doing this tonight, but Cliff asked,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
but we should know because we're gonna have to do it fairly soon. We got 6 months from when we handed in that piece of paper to do those 3 things I said. 1 waste diversion, reuse, or reduction facility. Well, that too could be at Emmett County. 1 environmental interest group. That should be interesting.
someone from the safe people over
Here in Pines, maybe?
1 elected official for each,
there.
not for each county, township, or city, but a representative from the county, could anybody, from a township, could be any of the townships, a city or village. So for that, we'd have Rogers City, Onaway, Millersburg, and Posen to choose from.
Probably should have someone from the township that has the landfill in it.
You know, we can kick this around because a lot of groups could be in 2 different categories. So, you know, we need a chart or something and look at the options.
Yeah, write all the names down.
Yeah. And we could make copies of this list
Yeah,
for you
I'd
to
like
take home
see a
tonight.
copy of that.
And then one regional planning agency. I presume it would be your own, but you never know. And or optional, an adjacent community business rep. So that's what lies ahead, and it would be that group working with the planner that puts together the work plan. And then you get your money, and the money is 60 grand a year for 3 years. And then I think there's some additional funding. Oh, there's additional funding to carry out your plan in years 4, and 5.
Yeah, I thought it was
60.
fine.
And if you don't spend 60 on the plan, which for heaven's sakes, I hope we don't, 60 for 3 years, we don't need that much money for the plan. The leftover money can be used for anything that the law allows it to be used for, which would be digesters for biological materials. It could be advertising, encouraging recycling. It could be, fencing off the mulching area in Rogers City. It could be, but the whole point is the work plan would specify what we need. And the reason we went single county plan, I think, is so that we could do our projects that we think we need, like the cameras, that keep people from dropping waste at those sites. And some help.
Yeah,
Well, I can tell you that one of the big problems that's coming up is all that mulch in the background. We don't have any way to grind it or make it smaller.
Well, there you go. We could have a mulch grinder, could be paid out of the,
Huge deal, because, what do
wouldn't that be wonderful?
But don't they bring one in every so often?
they used to. Who's got one now?
Oh, really?
And that's a big.
But that's a perfect thing that we could
Sure.
put in the plan
Yeah.
and fund out of this money. So
Yeah.
3 times 6 is
Because that's
180,000. Anybody, it sure as heck shouldn't take 180,000 to write a materials management
Well,
plan for our
yeah.
little.
talk to
Speaking
them,
of
Kevin,
that, do you
see.
know what MCOG's gonna want?
That's what I was
No.
saying.
What do you mean, what are they?
No
But we-
idea?
We need to negotiate with them.
So we have no idea what it's gonna cost.
No, and I
I'm
don't.
sure it's not gonna be less than $20,000.
But can we go back to designating the planner? If you don't want to act on it tonight, that's fine,
But
but
I think we ought to move on.
these are the limited number of organizations that can be a designated planning agency. So a regional, county, or municipal planning commission. So our county planning commission could be the designated planning agency. And as a member of that commission, I would say, no way, we don't have the expertise. See what
Exactly.
it said?
Right.
Shall have the necessary expertise and the legal, financial, and institutional capability. Well, our planning commission is great, but they don't have all those.
Road commission neither.
Well, the road commission could be, the drain commissioner could be. Some counties have drain commissions with staff of 250 and lawyers and everything else. But all we have in Right.
Because we had us.
county executives, well, we don't have a county executive. Or materials managed solid waste disposal authorities, like the one they are building in Alpena with the multi-county. But we kind of decided not to do that. So there's not a lot of realistic choices for our county. So I'm hoping we just talk to NEMCOG and do it,
Yeah.
because
They've always
that's the
done-
best of our
They've always
options.
done solid waste plan.
Yes, they have.
So can we have a motion then?
Well, we got a resolution. Okay,
I move to adopt the resolution designating NIMCOG a planning agency for their material management.
are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, is that number 2? That's it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Are you okay with that, Wayne?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, we talked all along, we were gonna hire NIMCOG.
yeah, but just,
Second.
I'll second it,
Thank you.
but I got a little more discussion.
So you made the motion? All right, now we can discuss.
On this list of the big fat committee, when we get our big sheet, we'd want to have somebody from Rogers City and from Onaway on there, so we can wiggle this around, because they don't have to both represent the city, because,
You need one from each though.
yeah, but in the city category, it has to be city or village, so we can't have 2 in that category, we can only have 1. But because of the composting that Rogers City had, we can have somebody from Rogers City on the composting and somebody, say, from Onaway as the city rep.
Yeah.
So we
I would
can
rather-
work it to have the best
In the
representation.
township, I'd have somebody from Ellis Township.
Oh, yeah,
but
but I think we can get it
Only
with the-
because the
absolutely. And we have to also have somebody from the disposal facility.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we have them in.
I
Right,
think that could be.
and the
could be-
materials hauler could be PAC, right?
could
Because
be
they're our
Packer,
hauler,
Could be anybody.
but yeah,
Well, we
But-
want somebody that. is in this
but I think that
area.
the time that we spend would be invested in getting a good committee
Yeah,
with the best representation.
probably Gee would be the disposal facility, I would think.
So let's copy this. Amber, did
Yeah.
you-
I'd like to get a copy of it.
Do you need it right now or after the meeting? Mike?
We can do it after, I think.
Let's get it now while we're thinking about it. Just takes a second. Just,
It's gonna make a lot of noise. What, just this one page?
yeah, just.
Oh, I thought you want the whole thing.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, no. Just that
I was
one
like,
page.
we're gonna be here a while.
We can go to Eagle. and-
No.
Get the whole thing.
So we could be thinking about that. And again, we've got now 4 months left out of the 6 months before we have to do all this, but I think the most of our brain time should be on putting that
Yes.
committee together.
Within 6 months,
Right.
or you're gonna default to Eagle.
And now I'll shut up, Judd.
No, good information, so appreciate it. Well, this is the wrong one,
That was
Did it
6
right
months.
side?
yeah.
Well, yeah.
That was 6 months from when we decided to send the letter.
We wanted the representation.
That's-
That time was 6 months from the time we sent the letters stating we were gonna do our own, correct?
This side.
And how long ago?
When was that letter sent?
I'd have to look back, I can't remember, but I think it was March.
Yeah.
No, it was
So-
later than that.
How was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it was
April.
May,
Okay.
absolutely.
You think it was under May?
You better make sure,
It could have even been June. I think it was May.
you better make sure because.
Yeah, we,
6
that
months,
establishes a deadline, so.
Yeah, I think it was probably earlier.
That's one of the things they stipulated in the meeting. It had to be done within 6 months.
Of that date.
So we can be thinking about people we think might be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll write some names down.
Anything else?
I hope not.
Okay, well, I guess we'll follow the roll for this.
Staley,
Yes.
Papa,
Yeah,
Lean,
Yes,
Yes,
nothing carries. Thank you, Mary Ann. Restrictive deeds, the old hangar property.
I'm like, where are the notes? Okay, so we did get. The review sent by Sagasser that they produced the restrictive deed on the airport hangar property where the tank was and removed and being monitored for future. He did state that he didn't find anything tricky about the restrictive covenant. Does obviously restrict our use, our ability to sell it in the future, which we knew. What I did do beyond that, though, is I did have ask the register, and she did verify the information in the legal description. Just so that we know we got the right parcel.
That's a good idea.
And she did go, I mean, when she came up and explained it, yep, but I'm like, does that, yep, that's okay. That's what I-
okay.
So she did dig it down. She got the deed. She found the amended deed to the, but that little chunk is parceled out or is chunked out of what's currently in the EDC's name. So it
so you
is,
had to do a split.
they did something,
They
this
did-
is like
they
EDC
did
property
a
back
split.
there.
The hangar, you're talking about the hangar,
That
separate.
old hangar
The old-
by the ball field.
Yep.
That little chunk is not in the EDC. It is still in county airport's name. And she did verify the parameter, I mean, the.
Does
description.
anybody remember why? Because I do.
Why what?
Why that the county had to maintain airport, that parcel,
That chunk.
as opposed to giving it to the EDC. Because that chunk and the chunk with the aerial sign were determined to be potentially eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. And therefore, we could not, we as a county had to take care of it
And maintain.
because that was a condition of the airport improvement grant that was given with federal dollars.
The old hangar is considered,
Was constructed by the CCC in the Depression era.
Anyways, this will get it done and off of Al and my desk.
Okay, so we have a motion to adopt the restrictive deed.
I would make a motion to adopt the restrictive deed for the old airport hangar property.
Support,
or
motion support to adopt the restrictive deed for the old airport hangar property.
We'll
Any
get it
more
recorded,
discussion? Pardon?
And we'll get it recorded
Okay,
accordingly.
good. Any more discussion? If not, let's have a
Do a
vote.
We're at Chapel,
Yes,
Talini,
Yes.
Heidemann,
Yes,
Bailey.
yes,
motion carried. Civil infraction policy.
I have a few questions on that.
well, I've been taken to school by the attorney, but maybe that's okay. I was the one pushing to have this thing. And I know you have some concerns too, which we should discuss. Originally, I thought we could just amend our existing civil infraction ordinance. And instead of amending it, the attorney has produced an entirely new and somewhat different and somewhat more complicated ordinance. He gave some explanations about why he did that. But I also note that no language is given to us on repealing the old one. And I'm kind of not feeling like I want to adopt a new one before I repeal the old one. And Cliff, you had some other concerns.
Yeah, the designated authorities and the county officials. I understand law enforcement officers. The zoning administrator, he enforces the zoning ordinance. He has to hand out citations too. Building officials, though, that would be a supervisor over all the building and zoning, wouldn't it?
Well, the building official refers to the county building official, not to the supervisors, because this is the county ordinance.
I know that, but I'm talking about, we don't have a supervisor that's over that.
We have a vacancy for that position.
Because then he's got building inspectors, plumbing inspectors, mechanical inspectors, electrical, really.
Those, they weren't in our first one because we didn't have our own county ones, they were state.
Yeah.
But that's why they
I
amended
know,
it to
but
add those in actually.
My concern is having building, plumbing and mechanical inspectors out handing out citations to people.
Well, who's going to
That,
do that?
that's who's supposed,
A
that's what was
supervisor
asked, was to include them.
a
because they didn't have
supervisor
to.
above.
But they're doing their own inspection.
And there,
They're contractors.
here's the old one, which is still in effect. So right here, the old one, it lists only 4. Law enforcement officers, zoning administrators, building inspectors, and electrical inspectors. So it didn't have mechanical and it didn't have plumbing
Because we used the state at that time.
at that time. So part of the reason to change the ordinance was to add those people. And we also, soil erosion and sediment control
Right.
officers came to us and said, DNR, according to state law for soil erosion, if they need to enforce, they are conservation district staff people who are certified to do soil erosion control permitting. If they have to enforce against someone who is in violation, they need to have it in this civil infraction. If we don't have them listed, this is their information that they gave us, then Eagle will come in. I said DNR, but I meant Eagle.
Yeah, right.
Eagle will come in and they'll enforce under state law, and then they'll take the money. Now, our corporate counsel is saying that's $500, so that's not a good amount. And he's also saying that's all we could charge. I sure would like to talk to him about that, because $500. You know, for that gentleman down at Presque that was raising a ruckus, that's nothing for him. He would just tell us to go jump for $500, but. You know, the attorney's not here. He sent an explanation. I don't know what to tell you, but what I can tell you is we haven't, this is still in effect.
Exactly. That too.
Well, maybe we ought.
I
to
mean, the
table
old
it.
one and the new one?
No, we haven't adopted.
We haven't adopted the new one, but we
But
have
when
no
we adopt-
language,
When we adopt the new one, that get rid of the old, all that.
We don't-
not without some language of repealing it,
Right.
which we don't have. And you and I
we
could sit here and
probably
make
should
some
just
up,
table it.
but I don't feel good about that.
Right.
And plus I have some other questions.
So, should we
A
table
lot
it?
of people.
I'd like to table it, but I'd like to have our corporate counsel here to talk about it to our face and answer our questions.
Yeah.
Well.
So we
table
need
it
to
and-
arrange to put it back on the agenda when he can be here. If, that's my feeling. I don't know how you guys.
So
feel.
anyway, do we need a motion to table it?
Yeah, I'll just table it.
Pardon?
No, you don't need a motion.
Okay, all right. Table
Yeah, I got issues about the soil. Erosion.
I mean, I understand what Cliff is saying, but you know, with the other inspectors, you know, the state was doing, now we're doing it. But that
Well,
does seem
not
like,
really, because we had an electrical before and it's mentioned, and now we have an electrical as well as
right,
plumbing
Plumbing
and
and
mechanical, so it's just adding them. in.
Well, the three things that would be added was the soil erosion people, the mechanical, and the
Soil
plumbing.
conservation,
Well, the one
Well,
is two,
they're
two,
still the
two
same,
inspectors
Remember
and
when
one,
she
but we
was
could have plumbing and mechanical is one person.
right?
First morning, second morning, third morning.
But that's what it is now. It might not always be
Right,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Currently, we have the same person.
I
but
don't know about it, so.
Listed so it's
you
clear.
do have such a diverse group of people. I mean, to the average guy, yeah, that's crushing, but like what you're saying, you know, for a guy that can, you know, just thumb their nose at us and just keep doing it, that's what kills it. Cause that seems like an awful lot of people that can come after you.
It is.
That's a
Well,
lot.
the
Well,
only
For
reason I
different
say
reasons,
that,
They can
No,
only put
I-
under their authority.
No, I get it, but
I sent you what I was talking about. If you read it, I mean,
it's
I got-
9 different
I
organizations.
got a mechanical guy over there that's complaining about their R&R and boiler systems, and they pull a permit for it. Actually, two mechanical guys. And then the electrical inspector's coming in and making a full electrical permit to redo the electrical when it passes code, when it's a code already. So I mean, they're getting hammered.
This is another $300. There's no argument. But at the same time, you get someone that's thumbing their nose up at them and
Yeah.
just says, you know, I don't care what you do.
Yeah,
That's
The
the
electrical
problem.
inspector's being really aggressive though.
But I definitely would want to, see that we get rid of the old language and adopt the new. Don't have.
well,
both
yeah,
out there.
we need to
What's that
have,
one there he threw in?
we need to have word on here, so.
He threw another one in at the end.
And I
too.
don't know if we could call,
This one here, he threw this one in there, authorized local.
well,
official.
and I don't know who that is, because I haven't looked back in as defined. So
Anyone you decide to authorize?
that makes me uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
That'd be nice
Which
to,
one is that?
the last one where it
Uh,
says unauthorized official. He's just repeating words from the statute, but we're sitting here, it's our ordinance, and we don't know who those people are. So I don't feel real
Yeah.
good
We're.
on the list. The
It's
list
I.
under the new
Yeah,
ordinance.
I.
Right here.
Oh, all right.
So for a variety of reasons, we're not real comfortable with this right now, and we don't want to act on it without having our attorney here to answer some questions.
So we're gonna just table.
Yeah.
Good.
And if you want to have somebody from soil erosion here to explain why they need to be on there. They
Yeah.
sent an email to the office about that, which,
I think you've explained it.
okay. And
They were
hopefully the attorney knows about that too.
When they were here, they were
Oh,
having
yeah.
trouble with the state enforcing it,
Yes,
weren't they? I can't remember the particular case they were talking about, but
with Donna Presque. I really wanted to get this done, but we're not, I don't want to just to jeopardize the county. Okay,
Okay, the opioid settlement with Kroger.
Yeah, they said we didn't have to pass a board resolution, but we did it for all the other ones, so I'm more comfortable just keeping my same.
I was impressed by the number of decimal places.
where's that at?
I didn't make a full copy of it.
It's a great
Is
big
it-
one.
Is pocket change?
Yeah, I didn't make a full copy of it. It's like, so,
Wow, that's a lot of decimal places.
so
Well,
this
it's
is
a lot
the
more than the,
My,
On the
my phone
attorney's
doesn't have
side.
that many decimal places.
this is the fourth one. I believe in our series, maybe it's our third. Okay, I lost track of them already,
yeah,
but we've had two others for sure that I can remember.
Yeah,
Purdue's gonna be tipped or is tipped over.
So, but this just says that we agree with the settlement.
yeah,
This is what this resolution, is. We agree with the settlement.
So,
And in the page, it says how much, and it does go over a period, oh, this one's 11 years, this would be 31,869.25.
How much is the total settlement?
1.2 billion national.
Yeah. Huge.
But it's split up by, depending on what states are in
Lot of-
the
yeah.
thing, we happen to be within the state that is in it. Anyways,
so
Bill
I-
can have a motion to adopt it.
I would make that motion to adopt this
resolution.
opioid settlement, the
resolution.
Kroger opioid settlement.
Support.
Motion to support to adopt the opioid settlement with Kroger Corporation. Any more discussion? If
How
not,
many states are in it?
We don't actually
My
know.
goodness, yeah, it's a whole bunch of.
Yeah.
What?
Not all 50, but
right, some
a
opt
good
out.
majority of them.
34 for some reason sticks in my head.
So really, if it's 34 or 35, you divide that up, it's really not that much.
Well, it's a pretty good chunk.
And
but-
it's based on different factors of how much each county gets.
Right.
And it's one of the lower ones.
Yeah.
because they
Well, it was
sell
supposed to
big.
We're already
reflect
200,000 in.
the impact. Yeah,
Kind of see or West Virginia. Gets a
It could
good
be
deal.
10 times higher than that for the impact.
Well, it's how
But-
do you
and it-
spend it?
Yeah,
That's the
it's
problem.
very restrictive on
Yeah,
different
it is.
uses.
It is. Although it, when I was looking that over, it looked like maybe we could fund hunters with it.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. That's what I thought initially, but I want to get some clarification before I say yes to that.
Can you fund rehabilitation?
That's what. it's
That's what it's supposed to be, yeah.
There's a
but
whole-
You
there's a-
can't get people to,
That was
you
what I,
can't get rehab people.
yeah, that
that's
was
the
what I was
problem.
explaining last time, that I attended a meeting over at City Hall that members from different organizations, law enforcement, the community, Thunder Bay Clinic is actually the one kind of spearheading a lot of it with Northeast Michigan Mental Health. NMRE, different entities that are gonna get involved in how can we utilize this money in our community. So,
Yeah,
so it was a
'cause-
good meeting. It was
Yeah.
very, very promising meeting.
I think mental health would be involved too, I mean.
yeah,
Well, they would, it just,
Uh,
again, it gets back.
They had
to
representatives
personnel.
from
Can't get
there,
people.
from
Cause the abuse. leads
Catholic
to
Human
that.
Services. You know, the different agencies for therapy
the
and
people
counseling.
that have been dealing with the problem for years.
Did you say Catholic Human Services?
Okay, any more discussion? If not, we need a roll call.
Yes,
Yeah,
resolution.
okay.
Selini,
Yes.
Heidemann,
Yes,
Saley.
Yes.
Chapa.
Yeah. Motion carried. Okay, we screwed up when we gave ourselves a raise. First of July, we can't do that. We can't give ourselves a raise. So we'll have to rescind that.
Motion, yeah, or three motions total
Yeah, I
technically.
guess so. So,
The first motion will be to rescind the motion of
All of them.
June 28th. Title.
Who made the motion?
Look back
In the
I don't
minutes.
remember.
Well, what happened?
So
Well,
it
we-
should have been split into two. You should have the elected appointed salaries. And then the
Starts
commissioner
1st
salary
of
separate.
July.
Bundle it all in the one
Yeah.
page.
And I knew that beforehand, and when we.
That's
said-
why you didn't put it together, I think.
You did
Yeah.
it, though, didn't you?
So commissioners aren't allowed to give themselves raises.
So
During the
that
term.
won't go into effect till January 1st. When the new people take.
So the
Oh, yeah.
difference is the effective date
Right.
for the
At the public hearing.
courthouse people that aren't elected.
Who made that?
Well,
They're
Darga
appointed,
and
the appointed
Justin and
officials start
Selene.
July 1. If the elected
Darga
can't
and
start in the
Selene. I
current
made the
term,
motion, or
so
you
it
did?
would
You
start.
did.
No.
If I got it screwed up.
The commissioners can't start in their current term.
Oh,
You have to set the elected before the
Take
thing, but it can go up during.
Okay,
Everybody
so,
else will take effect July 1
Yeah.
as it did.
so we don't have Darga here to,
It
it
doesn't matter.
matter.
I moved.
All right, well,
I can
then-
move to rescind it, I seconded it.
okay, so we need a motion to rescind the elected.
I support the
appointed
motion to
salary and
rescind.
wages. Okay, we have a motion support?
Yep.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll call.
We start with Heidemann,
Aye.
Haley,
Yes.
Chapa,
Yes,
Selene.
Yes.
motion carried. Okay, now we can do the elected officials.
Yep, so. Have them listed.
And
I thought I was gonna print this
effective
off and I don't
July
have it printed off for you. I can reread it. There's no changes in it, obviously, but it does have
It's in the
also.
minutes too, so if you wanna look it up.
But I did also
Back
include,
page.
because they weren't on there, was the drain commissioner and the county survey, where there's no changes. to,
Mhm.
911 coordinator, stuff like that. The only one I'm not sure about is the building administrator. How to address that? Leave it off?
Probably, we can
So,
always
I'm just leaving it
deal
off.
when we get somebody.
Yeah,
Okay,
But we just leave it off.
building and zoning administrator, that's a discussion for a later time. But
yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it off.
Okay. So, we have a motion.
Yep, we did. We had
Oh,
a
we
second.
did, okay. There was
Oh,
one
I'm
more-
sorry, no, we had
I
motion to
didn't think
rescind.
so. Go ahead, somebody
I make that motion
support that.
to adopt the
So,
wage.
Elected and appointed
wages.
salary wages.
Yes,
Anybody support that?
for everyone except the commissioners.
I have them
Well,
all,
that's.
Yes,
And the building and zoning.
yeah, I have them all, I'll have them, I have all those listed
Yes.
again.
Any more discussion? If not, call the roll.
Here, and then, Saley,
Yes.
Chapa,
Yeah,
Leany,
Yes.
Heidemann.
yes,
motion carries. Next one is the commissioner.
Right, and that one will be to approve the raises of Board of Commissioners effective January 1, 2025.
Right,
In the amounts of board members, 3,000, vice chair, 3,500, and chair, 4,000.
do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Support,
Or
motion support to. The commissioner pay effective January 1st, 2025. Any more discussion? Call the roll.
Chapa,
Yeah,
Leany,
Yes.
Heidemann,
yes.
Saley.
yes.
motion
I
carried.
apologize. I haven't changed it in so long, I totally forgot.
Put that in the paper.
Wayne, were you able to straighten out the payroll thing? I hope.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Okay,
time it was
contract
changed, Shell was
approval
here.
with court officers.
For offices. Did I have, okay.
Yes.
I only got confirmation back on 2. Those are the ones we will go with.
Well, I think we should act on the ones we have confirmation.
So the
So that's the front of the court.
in the.
And the
in
probate court.
Probate court, which also includes family division, public guardian staff.
Yes. How much of a review for the minutes do you want? I mean, how much of this do we want in the motion?
Oh, it'll be to adopt the agreements, but here's, if anybody wanted to look. Here's the public guard and probate, that one.
This was,
This is the synopsis of what the like wages.
yes, and this is the recommendation of the personnel committee, actually.
Yep,
They accepted your recommendation,
Well, we went back and forth quite a bit for weeks on end.
so is it just money or is it benefits as well?
well,
Or change?
it's economic issues, so
Yes.
there's no changes, say, to like the amount of vacation time and all that kind of stuff. But yes, there is an increase in pay. Yes, there is a change in the longevity that of the steps.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
less steps.
So it's basically,
Court recording,
This is-
increases. Stuff like that.
Hourly increases. Salary increase.
So if their salary, we're taking an average of 40 hours. However, there's a caveat that if they're not a 40-hour-a-week employee, then the salary does decrease accordingly. So if they're hired to be a 30-hour-a-week employee, then, they would obviously get a salary prorated down. With some aspect.
Do we have, less
How
than
long-
40 hours?
How long did that take you?
Not in those offices.
how long, how many meetings with the courts? I'm
few
thinking
weeks.
6 or 7,
Yeah, it depends on
Oh,
which
geez.
ones.
yeah. We had help from
How
our,
do I approve it? Because it changed in mind.
yeah, I think that's a good statement.
And these ones had agreed prior to
Mhm.
January, yeah, so July 1. So the salaries.
So
had to be
basically, this
retroactive to
was
July.
what the personnel committee wanted to adopt across all the salary categories. $1.25 market adjustment in year 1. A wage increase of 75 cents in year 1, making a total increase in year 1 of $2 an hour, in year 2 and 3, 50 cents each time. So,
$4.
yes, no, $3.
$3 over 3 years.
$3 over 3 years. And that, they're willing to take it. We're still duking it out with the unions who have not come to this enlightened approach. So I'm very happy to recommend this approach. This is what the personnel committee wanted to see happen.
So,
Can we have?
so
a
these are
motion?
just the
2 of the court offices.
two of the offices that agreed to it.
Correct.
Are they represented by the union?
No,
They represent themselves. Or their department head or elected.
and they can only start getting this raise when we adopt this agreement. So the one we haven't heard confirmation for won't,
Yeah.
it's not retroactive, I guess. The longer they wait, the less raise they get.
This one is retroactive.
Because they did agree
They
before,
did
but
agree
we didn't
before
have it at
July
the
1.
table for us to.
So I make the motion to adopt the agreement for the friend of the court and the probate court as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have motion support to adopt the wage contract offer for probate and the friends of the court.
Now, Mike's not here and he's chairman of personnel. Believe me, though, this was the recommendation coming out of the personnel committee.
There's no more discussion, let's call the roll.
There, Celine,
Yes.
Heineman,
Yes,
Bailey.
Yep.
Chapel.
Yes. Motion carried.
What are the unions?
Number 8 is recognition of Alan Bruder for his service on the health board.
Department of Health and Human
Is
Services.
that a resolution? Just recognition?
It's a letter of recognition.
that's what you signed, I think,
Yeah.
came around.
And
He served on well, probably changed names when as long as he served on it. FIA, DHS, DHHS, few times. He's appointed by the state, so it's not something this board will have to appoint to fill the
Mhm.
position. His seat is appointed by the state, so they will take care of that,
It's
but,
probably winding down, he's in his 80s.
but he gave his notice, and so I think it's appropriate to.
Right.
Need
I
a
agree.
motion to send, approve that. I move to send that appreciation letter to Alan Berger.
And for the public, I did correct the spelling of the name, I have it wrong on the agenda.
You do?
How did you spell it?
On the agenda, I had EN, and it's AN.
It's Bird,
Oh, it is.
ER. Oh. Al.
First name.
Support.
Okay, we have motion support to adopt the recognition,
Letter of recognition.
letter of recognition for Ellen Bruder and the service on the Health and Human Services. Board. Any more discussion? If not, all in
No,
favor?
thanks. Aye.
I,
Opposed?
You said no thanks, I'm like,
Oh, wait, yeah,
who said?
This is-
Motion carried. Okay, we're at committee report.
Was talking about something.
Finance, we've gone over, I don't think, so I don't need to do that, I guess. Anybody else?
well, you've heard about the personnel, so,
yeah,
Okay,
they have another meeting coming up Monday.
yeah.
okay. Guess that's it then, I didn't have a, no, it's good. Special appointment committee report. Anything?
Well,
let's-
let me just say about
Sorry.
MCOG, since
Oh.
I'm your rep on
Yeah.
that. If you wanna sort of get an idea of what they want in terms of a contract, I can talk to either Nico or Christina. And see how they wanna deal with that.
Yeah, right.
And I'm sure they're open to negotiation, so,
Good, good. Would it be them or Doug?
yeah, start with the staff and move up the
Oh,
chain.
okay. Good. Okay. You have anything, Clifford?
Yeah, road commissions, real quick.
Okay.
Steve Kroll showed up about the neighbor's fence and right away. And Dave got a application and permit. This should settle it, this permit. It's an application and a permit to construct and operate. They have so many of this happening. And use or maintain a temporary known encroachment within the right of way. It's in the stipulation, he has to get $1 million liability insurance. So they're gonna take this to him and tell him, if you wanna keep your fence there, you're gonna have to sign this and show us the liability.
Interesting.
Hmm.
That should take care of it.
Yeah,
And any other ones, I mean, there's so many. The snow out there with this building and he's. They gave him a 30-day, if he refuses, he's got 30-day notice to remove the fence.
did he have, I thought, I heard at one point he'd had some eagle issues for throwing in wetlands too.
No, they didn't bring up,
Different person.
Okay. No,
No.
no. We
the
talked
Lost
about
Lake
when-
people showed up though,
Pardon?
the Lost Lake people showed up,
Oh, did they?
but they've hired an attorney, so. They were asking questions and they really couldn't answer any of them because they're represented by legal counsel. And we explained that to them 3 or 4 times and they kept asking questions, so. And. That was basically it.
Hmm.
They did purchase a used roller though. And the old one has no brakes and it's getting sketchy loading it on the trailer. And he found it really reasonable too. I mean, I don't know where Dave finds all this
I
stuff.
know, he's got a nose for it.
He
that's for
does, man.
sure.
1997, I don't know if it had, I think he said it had like 2,800 hours or something, 3,000 hours, 42.5. You can't find them anywhere unless.
The man is a real talent.
So,
Wow,
so
yeah, he's got a nose for it, that's for sure.
that's all I
He's done
got.
a fantastic job. In that
Does, he's
position.
great.
Yeah,
He's doing a great job.
yeah. Commissioner comment?
Wish,
Wayne?
the only comment I got is we get an awful lot of rain. And it's kind of slowing everything down here. I'm sure you guys got it over here too.
No.
Okay. All right, I have nothing either. Government officials, I guess we're done with that. Correspondence?
Well, Anne Marie, does she want us?
Here,
government
government, you have anything to say?
Yeah, she's so, she's out of sight and out of mind.
Right?
You have to sit over there, so.
Just that, I started this week conducting election trainings. I have 2 more next week. All the devices, the totes, everything, well, the totes will go out tomorrow, or available tomorrow and stuff like that.
Get a few people coming.
Well, I had to do a training back in February or end of January because of the change in 9-day early voting.
Mhm.
So I think some of those people are not coming because of, but I do encourage, the clerk to send.
Refresher, yeah.
Because now there's been, just a tweaking of this or that, and you never can cover the same stuff every single time, because the class is generally, minimal 2 hours.
Mhm.
I could be there for 2 days. I mean, it's just that's how
Yeah,
much stuff,
right, yeah.
to go over. I encourage people to ask questions, stay after. I have the equipment there so they can look at it or, understand it better if they need to, especially, but I am happy to see some new faces.
Good, good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So whether they're working for somebody or just coming because they saw the ad or heard about it, had it advertised like in the libraries on their door. All the
Are
township.
you using the same equipment?
Yeah,
The
no,
guy in the UP? Is he the district guy?
oh, our vendor, you mean? He's one of our support persons, yeah. He retires at the end of this year, which is gonna be a devastation to our clerk because he's really good, but
Hey,
yeah,
It's
no,
not a
it's
deal.
the stuff we got in 2018, so we'll have it for another few years yet. But just the changes in the laws, I mean, with between 2018 and 2022 proposition changes, that's a huge difference in how they do their activities and stuff like that. What happens, 9-day early voting this year, 3 times this year they have it.
Yeah.
Anne Marie, have we had any problem with the intimidation at the polls of our workers?
I have not, but I do talk about that. The legislation has beefed up quite a bit, the penalties and whatnot for that. And I actually just had a meeting with our sheriff today about, security. It's not their job to sit at the polls and the police officers, think of intimidation too. But they will be available. I'll have something for them as to not what they can or can't do, but where the things
What a
are,
violation.
what violations are, stuff like that.
And
So we hope that
when to call the sheriff if
when to
needed?
call, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have to be just intimidation, it could be anything. But there's some unique circumstances people don't think about that I do teach about so that they're
Okay.
aware.
Have we ever had an issue in the county?
No, we have not that has been reported to me. Like I said, for the most part, our citizens are, mild-mannered and respectable. And at the end of the day, the people sitting at the table are no different than the people sitting at the gas station.
Mhm.
They don't create the laws, they're just there to enforce them. So, there's no sense of, and if someone makes a mistake, they make a mistake, it's one thing and that's
You're right.
correctable, but like I said, it's all about. So anyways,
That's it. Good work, thank you. Important work too.
busy.
So correspondence then?
We did get, I don't know. This is the correspondence, final documentation. Sheboygan County is required to send, has accepted the CAA responsibility would not be entering in a joint county plan.
Okay, so that's
And they
responding
have-
to our letter we sent to them.
Yeah, and they have designated NEMCOG as well.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, so they did a double. I mean,
The letter to me
Yeah, yeah,
states
yeah.
that they did.
so they went on their own too, and they're
Commissioner-
using NEMCOG to
Commissioner
do their plan.
Alpina asked me why were you going on your own? Why wouldn't you join us?
Who asked?
A commissioner at a
really?
meeting
Oh,
from Alpena. And I said, because you want control of our plan. And what would he say? Presque's never liked us. Just looked at him. I don't know what to say.
best to say nothing,
Move on.
yeah. Okay, I guess we're down to payroll. If somebody wants to make a motion to pay us.
Motion to approve payroll.
We have support,
Support.
motion to support payroll. All the roll,
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Chapa,
yeah,
Cellini,
Yes.
motion carried.
got it?
Motion to adjourn.
Bill,
Support.
July 26th.
July 26th, so she called.
Yeah.
at 9:30 AM, subject to much to the college chair.
And Mike's not here.
We have a support for that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carried.